It's your friendly math tutor, Miss C here, to unlock the magic of the greatest common factor, also called the GCF. Let's start with the definition. The greatest common factor is the greatest, or you could think of it as the biggest or the largest, of the common factors of at least two numbers. Let's go ahead and start exploring. So we're going to start with 4 and 10. So there are a few ways to approach finding the greatest common factor. We're going to start by listing the factors of these numbers. So let's start with the number 4. All right, so let's go ahead and list the factors of 4. So we know that that a number always has 1 times the number itself as factors. So in this case, we know that 1 times 4, 1 multiplied by 4 is 4. 4 is a special kind of number. It's called a perfect square, and that's because its other factor, which is 2, when multiplied by itself, equals 4. So our 3 factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 10. Let's look now at the number 10. So we're going to start off the same way. We're going to look at 1 times 10 makes 10. And then let's look at the other factors of 10. So 10 is an even number, so we know it's divisible by 2. So 2 times what number makes 10? Or you could think about it as 10 divided by 2 equals what number? And that number is 5. So we know that 10 has factors of 1, 2, 5, and 10. So when we look at both of these factors, we are looking for the factor, the common factor of both of these. So common means the factor has to be a factor of 4 and a factor of 10. And we're looking for the biggest one. So this one's pretty easy to spot because there's only one factor that both numbers have in common, and it is 2. So we could say the greatest common factor of 4 and 10 is 2. All right, let's move on to the next problem, 18 and 45. So instead of just writing all the factors, I'm going to actually go ahead and I'm going to write this as a set of factor pairs. So factor pairs are the factors of a number, or 2 factors of a number written kind of as a multiplication statement. So we'll start with 18. So I know that 1 times 18, that's a factor pair for 18. I know that 18 is even, so it's divisible by 2. So 2 times 9 is 18. I also know that 18 is divisible by 3, and here's a quick little check in case you can't remember if a number is divisible by 3. If you add the individual digits of the number, in this case 1 plus 8 equals 9, if that sum is divisible by 3, so is the number. Special trick only works for the number 3, so don't try it on other numbers. So 3 times what number makes 18, or 18 divided by 3 makes what number? And that number is 6. 4 does not go evenly into 18, nor does 5. And then we're back to the next number would be 6, which we already have included here. So these are all of the factors of 18. And now we're going to do the same thing for 45. So 1 times 45 is a factor. 45 is odd, so we know that 2 does not go into 45. If we use my same trick for divisibility by 3, 4 plus 5 is 9. So that means that, and 9 is divisible by 3, so that means that 45 is divisible by 3. So I kind of like to think about 45 as like a time. So if we think about like the clock every 15 minutes up to an hour goes by 15, so 15, 30, 45. So I know that 3 groups of 15, 3 groups of 15 make 45. 4 definitely, it does not go into 45, but 5 does. So 45 ends in a 5, so we know it's divisible by a 5. So 5 times 9, 6 does not, 7 does not, 8 does not, and then we're back to 9. All right, so now let's look, and I'm going to go ahead and underline the factors that we have in common. So of course, every number has 1 as a common factor. This one also, we see that there's 3 on both sides. I also see 9. And those are our common factors. So I I'm going to say that the largest of the common factors, so the common factors are 1, 3, and 9, that number is 9. So our greatest common factor is 9. All right, let's try one more. So 30 and 55. All right, so you can tackle this any way you want. You can list out the factors. You could list out factor pairs. Whatever you feel like makes the most sense for you, try on this problem. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just list what I know, and then you can do the same. Okay, I believe those are all the factors of 30 and 55. All right, so I'm looking for common factors, and of course, every number has 1 as a common factor, but the only other common factor I see is the number 5. So I think it's fair to say that our greatest common factor here is 5. All right, the last problem we have is for you to practice to make sure that you can do this on your own. So we are looking for the GCF, or the greatest common factor, of 12 and 42. So go ahead and pause this video, practice this new skill, and when you're ready, unpause and check your answer. All right. So I'm noticing a fair number of common factors. I'm going to actually grab a different color so we can see this better. I noticed these. All right, so out of these, I see that we have common factors of 1, 2, 3, and 6. This by far is the biggest number, the 6. So I'm going to say our greatest common factor is 6. All right, everyone, thank you so much for taking the time to unlock the magic of the greatest common factor with me. Till next time.